What's up everyone, my name is Josh and this is Josh Unboxed and welcome back to another video. And today I want to continue on with my series on the future of the hobby. Now this will be part 3. I did do 2 previous videos on this. Part 1 was off of vintage and preservation, and in part 2 I talked about the junk wax era versus the junk slab era. Now I will leave a link in the description below, so if you're interested in watching those videos, feel free to do so. Now I will say that those 2 videos kind of help lay the foundation for the topic that I'm about to discuss in this video. And for this one, I want to talk about evolution, transition, and finding areas of opportunity. Now, I am a big believer in the overall long-term success of this hobby. I'm also a big believer that in order to realize success in my investments, I have to look at this long-term. As you guys may know, and I've talked about this in plenty of my videos, my overall goal is to build a PC, a collection that I can pass on to my son one day. For me, the benefits are the collecting aspect of it, me having fun collecting, and for him, the benefits will be he'll reap the rewards of whatever I pass on to him. Now, at the same time, I'm also a big advocate on, in order to know where you're going, you have to kind of know where you've been. And, by looking at that, I hope to kind of learn things from the past and use that to help me make better decisions now and in the future. And I think what's important about this is understanding the whole evolution of the sports card hobby and finding those points of transitions and those areas of opportunity. So when you look at it, we've evolved a lot from your common base cards to what we have today. So if we break it down, you can think about it this way. We started off with base cards, right? And we went from base cards to parallel cards. And when I talk about parallel cards, I mean things like Topps Tiffany, members only from Stadium Club, those early 90s refractors. We went from that to the insert boom, where a lot of focus was on rare insert cards, where every card company was making inserts for every set. And then we went from that to the numbered parallels, so things like PMGs, Legacy Collection, Platinum Medallion, or Rubies. We went from that to autographs and memorabilia cards. And then now we're at a point where all of that is all combined together. We have your base cards, we have your parallels, we have your inserts, we have your autograph cards, we have your jersey cards, we have numbered inserts, we have numbered jersey cards, numbered parallel cards. So we have everything all rolled into one, right? So how do we find areas of opportunity today when there's all this stuff out there, all these things out there? Like I said, everything is all rolled into one now. And the way to look at it is we have to look at those transition points in the past and find out what the areas of opportunity there were back then. So for example, we look at the transition from base cards to parallel cards. Now, the areas of opportunity back then were those rarer parallel cards. Now, those parallel cards were shorter printed. So instead of focusing on the base rookie cards of guys like Ken Griffey or Canseco or, et cetera, we could have focused instead on those Topps Tiffany cards of those stars like Barry Bonds, Bo Jackson, what have you. You could have focused on that instead of buying those base cards. But that's not to say that there isn't any value in those base cards, because you got to remember, grading wasn't a thing back then. So what you could have done also is, as you're focusing on those rare parallel cards, you could have also focused on high quality, great conditioned cards, right, of those players, of those star players, as well as dipping into the vintage market and getting cards of great quality there. So those were your areas of opportunity within that first transition point. Now we move on to the next transition point, which would be the insert era, right? So when we go into the insert era, one of the areas of focus for a lot of people were the rare inserts, the numbers 1 out of 72, the hobby only, retail only, all that stuff. So that was one area of opportunity that people were focusing on. But we still had those other areas of opportunity from the first transition point to focus on as well. So now you have multiple areas of opportunities, and you just have to pick and choose which areas you wanted to focus on. And you can apply this to the next transition point with the numbered parallels. Now, a lot of people were focusing on the numbered parallels. However, you still had opportunity in those older parallel cards, the Tiffany's, the first year finest refractors. You had opportunity there. You have opportunity with the rare inserts, as well as everyone was focusing on the numbered parallels, but you had opportunity with rare inserts, and you have opportunity with those great condition cards, high quality cards. Now, the next transition point in terms of memorabilia and jersey cards, you had another opportunity there. So a lot of people were focused on rare cards, the jersey cards, the auto cards, while at the same time you still had opportunities with the numbered parallels. You had opportunities with the rare inserts. You had opportunities with high condition cards, great condition cards, high quality cards. You had opportunity with the rare parallels. Back then you had opportunity with vintage cards. Now in this space now, there's an added layer with graded cards, right? So the opportunity not only lied within all those, but it also lied within graded cards, especially those of high grade, high quality. So now we had so many different areas to focus on, so many areas of opportunity. Now, in today's market, a lot of people have been pushing low pop cards and numbered parallels, right? As everyone is focusing on those areas, right? You still have a lot of areas of opportunity based off of our findings from the past. So that's the areas that I'm focusing on, right? This is how I'm using the understanding of these transition points, understanding of the evolution of this hobby in order to help me make much more better decisions on what cards I want to focus on. As everyone is talking about those types of things, there's opportunity in these areas. Because this is the way I think about it. When there's a shiny new toy, everyone's always so fixated on the brand new thing, on the hottest thing, to the point where people tend to forget about all the other stuff that has worked out in the past. These things are tried and true. Vintage cards are tried and true. Rare parallels from that era are tried and true. Rare inserts are tried and true. These are areas of opportunity that I would say that we have a chance to focus on. And that's where my focus has been on lately. So yeah, that's where I think there are areas of opportunity. Now, this is a little shorter video than what I would like to do, but I felt that we were able to hit those concepts of looking at the evolution of the hobby, understanding what the areas of opportunity were at each point of transition, and using that and applying that to today's point of transition when everyone's so fixated on numbered cards, numbered parallels, and as well as low pop cards. So think about it as you will. Once again, these are just my opinions. These are just my thoughts. Whether you agree or disagree, that's perfectly fine. If you found some value in this, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. And with that being said, my name is Josh, and I'll see you guys in the next video later.